I have another question, but totally like it's still kind of darker energy type, but like completely kind of different from this topic.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know if I've ever told you or if we've ever talked about it in our past conversations, but um, you do know that I had some suicidal ideations
Mhm.
before, up until like what it was, it 2020, was it 2020 or 2021 that I was like,
2020, I believe so. It might
yeah,
have been 2020.
yeah, 2020, where I think I was like, oh my God, I see a future.
No,
um,
it wasn't. It was 2021. 2021.
yeah, so fairly recently, where I was like, oh yeah, I actually want to be here. um, and I have to say it in a lighter tone because that's just how I deal with it. But just a couple days ago, like last week, maybe even this weekend, I was talking to my other good friend, and we analyze a lot of things and talk about a lot of things like you and I do, but we have other shared trauma that we are still like healing from and going through and all that. And I really appreciate her as a friend. But last week we were talking about something. I think it was actually this weekend, but we were talking about something along the terms of trauma and stuff, and how our bodies, keep the score and everything and whatnot, and how our traumas kind of come into our daily lives. Like, some days we have tough days where we can't do anything at all. Um, or like the fact that I still can't really fully let myself like work out. So I have
Yeah.
to do little things and try to stay active in other ways. But so for the financial aspect of it, I think I made the realization a while ago, but this was the first time I really voiced it.
Mhm.
And I told her, I was like, maybe it was a couple weeks ago that I talked about it too, but I don't know. Um, but I told her my reason for living was my debt. So I had a lot of debt because in the Navy, you don't get paid much as an undesignated sailor. At the time,
Mhm.
I didn't have a car, so I had to use my tiny paycheck for groceries, for taxi rides, and just to live.
Mhm.
And then come fast forward to being an E4, brand new E4, um, other expenses, and I got Mishka, the dog. Um, but I also had debt in the future years too, for like I would get a credit card or a loan just to get furniture. For To me, they were very reasonable things, where like, you have to live, you just got an apartment, you put down 2 deposits,
Mhm.
and now you have to go get everything for the apartment.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. And then but I was in debt. I mean, I'm still in debt now because I just moved, but I'm keeping up with it and whatnot. And it's not much, but I realize that I think the thing that really kept me on this planet, alive on this planet, was the fact that I was in debt, because I didn't want to put that on anybody. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't want friends or whoever would pick up my slack to be like, I didn't want to be indebted to them, but I didn't want to put that kind of burden on them at all. And so
Mhm.
I would have to, I would want to pay that all off before I, left this planet. And yeah, I kind of voiced that realization like recently, and I'm like, oh yeah. And it's funny because she was like, that's funny because my reason for living was the opposite. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of crazy, like how um, the same thing can be so different for two different individuals.
Yeah.
But for me, because I am still in that pattern of
Mhm.
debtedness or whatever, my question is, and I don't know if you're going to know the answer. I mean, obviously, I don't know the answer. And I'm only going to really figure it out once I like get there. But um, I want to ask, like, how do I get out of that cycle of the mindset? Because like obviously there's that whole yes, make your payments, do all of those things, the obvious things, and obviously I want to stay here and live and whatever. I know I have a future and all that. But my thing is I think I'm still subconsciously in that cycle, and I don't want to be in that cycle anymore. So how
Mhm.
can I get out of that cycle or subconscious mindset where I have to stay in debt to stay alive? Like, I don't want to be in debt my whole life, but obviously we
Yeah.
are going to have like house payments, whatever. Those are normal things, but I did get like a loan just to get, I had to buy my own washer and dryer. So those things, and make my car payment while I didn't have any income coming in when I moved and all that. So those kind of loans and extra things. I mean, I don't really have that huge of credit card debt, so and I make those payments easily. It's just more of like the bigger numbered things,
Mhm.
And so I don't want to have to keep feeling like and I wouldn't say I'm impulsively um, asking for loans or
Mhm.
getting credit cards or whatever. I don't do that, but I don't want to also keep feeling like I have to get a loan just to live.
Yeah.
So, and I am a hustler. Like you and I both hustle hard. So it's not like I'm just sitting on my butt
Yeah.
and um, just asking for handouts or anything. Like I work hard. So, but that money really goes to the dog and bills and sometimes groceries if I can afford them. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. As far as that, as far as how to get out of the cycle of it, first of all, we are in a very rough or tough economy at this time. So I think that's something that should be taken into account as
Okay.
well. You
I
know,
thought it was like that puts a big, like, takes a lot of that weight off my shoulders because I was really blaming myself there.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if you even if you just look on social media where people are speaking about, you know, this is the holiday season, Christmas and everything else, and how it they didn't have it to give or do. There was even something in relation to it's kind of like an angel gifting that
Oh,
people
yeah.
sign up and
Mhm.
do for the holidays and stuff, and how they were saying that there were people that received those things and they were saying it wasn't the stuff that was given wasn't that great. I mean, these are gifts in some sense, so I
Yeah, they
mean, if
weren't very grateful for them. Yeah, I
yeah,
saw that.
but like even with that being said, I think it's just this is a hard season, you know, everywhere financially, and I think that's just in a lot of places. The U.S. could be other places, but just here in general. So I think that should be taken into account. I would say that the best thing, and it's funny because this kind of like completely is it's not off topic, but it's interesting because I'm planning to like build up my website and have have people basically host other readers and life coaches and things like that on there. But
Mhm.
Spirit also told me that I should open it up and make it so that there are financial advisors on there as well. So I think that it could be about working with a financial advisor or a financial advocate. There are people like that out there. And that's somebody that could help you to figure out how to begin to ground yourself and build a stable understanding,
Yeah.
and there are ones that that do this for free, or do it like for in a government understanding, or at like social worker offices and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily something that you have to pay for or pay a lot of money for. There are ways to do it that don't cost money. So I would suggest looking into that, and they may be able to assist you, like really really give you some help, and just give you kind of like a place to start, to help you see, how you can really begin to build and grow that for yourself. I
Yeah.
really It's just really crazy because I was Spirit was just talking to me about this, and you asked this question. So I think that's also confirmation that this is I was going to do it anyway, but even more confirmation that this is the right way to go, adding financial advisors to the website once I change it around. But I do think that's the answer, connecting with a financial advisor. And well, me, like if you need help, we can look at this and look it up together to find something that's right like that for you. You
Yeah.
understand? So yeah.
My thing with that is I don't, because I have history of financial advisors of going to a couple in the
Hmm.
military, but they're military, so they're more harsh.
Hmm.
And I'm scared to go to somebody that's harsh again and who won't
Yeah.
understand. Like, you're making me feel bad for spending money on bills and maybe a Starbucks here and there. Like,
I think it's like the same thing.
live too.
I think it's the same thing. I have not with the well, actually, I think when I was in the military, I went to one, but even outside the military, I have gone and talked to one. I think and you're right, there is a difference, but I think that at the end of the day, it's important to just like if you're choosing a therapist or a spiritual advisor or whatever the case may be, try things out, find the right intuitive one, and listen to your intuition and find the right one for you. Like even when I build out the website and I'm adding financial advisors on to it, I'm not going to just let anybody come on there. It has to be feel right. I'm going to ask them questions. I'm going to see, like what the energy feels like as far as them connecting with people to assist them in that understanding. So, don't be afraid to make a list of questions for that person when you're trying to figure out if this is who you should connect with and get assistance from.
Yeah, true. That sounds exhausting, but true. um, I know you've suggested it a couple years ago too, and that's my main thing is like I don't want to be judged the whole time I'm going, like trying to budget myself better. And I think I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at budgeting, but other times I'm like, oh, where's the rest of my money? Oh, I paid extra on my bills again.
Hmm. No, I understand.
So
But I mean, as far as like it goes when it comes to the anxiety or the worry about somebody judging you, I think also too that could just be anxiety that's needing to get released in that sense. Because, like I speak with a lot of different people, and, yes, I'm not a financial advisor, but I speak with so many different people. And a lot of times they come to me being afraid that I'm going to judge them. And, that's why I often let it know right up front, like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to assist you. I don't care what the problem is. It's not my job to judge you. That's not and there are many people who go into these type of, fields with that energy. So that's why, like again, trust your intuition and, trust that it'll feel right in a sense. Just like with your therapist that you talk to, or whoever else the case you connect with, it feels right. You feel the connection, right? I'm
yeah,
sure it'll build similar energy in the same way in doing so.
yeah, true. Well, you let me know when you have those financial advisors on your site.
I will too. And actually, there is I don't know if there's any information on it, but there's a
Mhm.
site I found a long time ago. His name is or like information that might be beneficial to you. It's his name is Mr. Money Mustache. And I'll send you the website so that you can look into it and other things too. Like if you don't still feel some anxiety about going to a person. But yes, the ones that I bring to my website, I am gonna vet them. They're not just gonna come on and talk to people or be in, an energy that is in opposition to your growth. I am gonna vet them very thoroughly to make sure that that's not the case.
Now that I have kind of like acknowledged where that um, debt mindset has come from, now I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna have to have like a whole healing journey with it
Yeah,
too. So, like, I know I have to be gentle with myself and my mind about it. So that's why I'm like more worried about somebody being really harsh and whatever,
yeah,
because I know that I'm gonna have emotions to it, and
yeah.
probably not gonna be normal for like us and other people. So I'm gonna be more emotional than
Yeah.
others, you know?
There's no such thing as normal. Normal is relative,
Yeah.
and I think that a lot of
I'm
times
out here.
the things that go on in our 3D inner understanding, they're
Mhm.
connected to our emotions. So it's not surprising that you would feel emotional pertaining to it. And there's a lot of people that feel emotional pertaining to the financial understandings and things like that. So I don't think you should think that this is just you alone,
Yeah.
and there are energies that really do just want to assist and help to help you get to where you want to go for yourself financially and set up and help you map out a plan and everything else, and those are the type of energies that I plan to bring in. But yeah, like it doesn't it doesn't have to be somebody that's judging you or making you feel that way. It really does also sound like it is going to be a healing understanding where you do need to release a lot, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's great that the first big step is acknowledging it. And that releases a lot more than you may even be realizing at this time. I'm sure you realize it to some extent, but like releasing it is preparing you to go on the other understanding of the journey with, balancing it out for yourself. But releasing that first, and then it's gonna just it might still need to kind of pour out, release, and then you're gonna see or help it's going to begin to help you find a clear path to get to that next step of being more grounded and feeling, that you're more anchored and centered for yourself financially. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Like I feel my eyes welling up now. Oh, but anyhow.